Aikman tweeted, John Madden was a treasure. He was a gift, and he was an incredible friend. R.I.P. John. Mike Tomlin tweeted, John Madden was a true football man. Rest in peace, coach. And Jerry Jones had this statement, I am not aware of anyone who has made a more meaningful impact on the National Football League than John Madden. And I know no one who loved the game more. I want to bring our guys back in. Adam Schefter there tweeting as well about John Madden and the impact he had on the game. Guys, I want to ask you, and Rob Ninkovich, I'll start with you. How do you think John Madden will be remembered in terms of his impact on the game of football?
I mean, I think his impact probably was one of the biggest in the growth of the NFL and everything that has transpired in the last 30 years since he was a coach to going into the booth and then creating Madden that we all know as the video game really propelled the NFL to what it is today in a multi-billion-dollar industry that it is. So, you know, John Madden to me brings me back to my childhood, being a young kid, watching every Super Bowl, watching every big game, and you saw him on television, and he had that big personality and the big voice, and that voice that you knew, hey, that's John Madden calling this game. So, you know, there wouldn't have been, the Little Giants wouldn't have beat the Cowboys in the movie without the annexation of Puerto Rico and him breaking it down, you know, with the bus, the Madden bus, and the guys rolling out. So for me, you know, it brings a smile to my face because I think about just being a kid. And when you're young and you're just dreaming and hoping to one day be in the NFL, John Madden was a big, huge part of my life growing up and everyone's lives that are in the football industry.
Nick, what was it like for you, you know, you're a former player, making it to the league and hearing John Madden talk about you, seeing you in the Madden game? I mean, what kind of impact did he have in that way?
Yeah, being in the game was a big deal for all of us. But I think that John Madden, like Nico said, John Madden was kind of the soundtrack to football in our childhood when we're growing up, dreaming about getting there. It's John Madden's voice that we're imagining saying our name. And I do think that it's kind of mind-blowing that winning a Super Bowl and having the best winning percentage of a coach in NFL history is like third on the list of most impactful things that he has done, because his impact as a broadcaster and his impact as the namesake of the video game. Like, I think that most people will remember him for one of those two things. So few people will remember the fact that he won a Super Bowl as a head coach and still has the best winning percentage of any head coach after 10 seasons in the history of the league. And that, to me, is really mind-blowing and really speaks to his impact. To have that type of influence over 3 different walks of life is pretty incredible and impressive, and we all were fortunate to experience it in some way.
It really is a great point. He is one of the few people ever that has won a Super Bowl, and that's almost the last thing you remember about his greatness. Dan, what do you think his legacy will be in the game of football?
Well, what's amazing about that, Ryan, is that that depends on how old you are, right? And I think one of the great things about being a sports fan is being able to immerse yourself in the history of the games you love. And this is a guy who stands up as a real connector throughout decades, throughout generations. I mean, he coached George Blanda. George Blanda played for him as a player with the Raiders. That's how long ago we're talking about. So, listen, he was a Super Bowl winning head coach too. If you were a Raiders fan in the 1970s, then that's how you'll remember him. If you were growing up watching football games in the 80s and 90s, you'll remember him as the voice of the game, as the guy that was on the call for every big game, right? That you would tune in because part of the reason you tune in was because he was going to make it entertaining. And if you're a teenage boy like my 15-year-old son Sam is, who said to me last night, you know, I never knew until tonight he was a coach. And I never knew until a couple of years ago that he was even a person. I just thought that was the name of the video game. Like, this is to live on like that for people that had no idea about your real life accomplishments and learn about them through the stories. I think that's quite an accomplishment. Very few people can pull something like that off.
Yeah, and his other accomplishment for me was always bringing everyone into the game. I mean, you talk about how hard it is for some people to understand football. Look, it's a complicated game, especially if you haven't been around it. But he had that unique ability through his enthusiasm to make other people feel passionate and enthusiastic about the game. And I think his legacy is going to be he is the one person more than almost anybody else who did more to bring the casual fan into the game, to bring folks into the game who say, well, I like football, but I don't know so much about it. His enthusiasm and his love of the game brought everyone in, and that is a true skill right there.